be sharing my point of view in regards to this topic with yourself, based on my knowledge of Spiritism. Uh, I'm a student of this philosophy still, and what I'll be saying here is my own opinion, which might be different from the Spiritist group and even from the other members of this group. So I'm Chago Komitri, and I'm a volunteer of this group. What's your inner duty? Have you asked yourself this question? So, what's the meaning of life, or what I'm doing here in this world? So, we already have so many social and professional and affective duties, right? How to identify or recognize our inner duty then? So let's start with trying to define what is duty. First definition: it's a moral or legal obligation, a responsibility done from a sense of moral obligation rather than for pleasure. And the second definition here: a task or action that one is required to perform as part of one's job. Military service, or of a person engaged in their regular work, or performance of prescribed church services by a priest or minister. That's the duty. And a last definition here: a payment levied on the import, export, manufacture, or sale of goods. So this definition I got from the Oxford language, but I'd like us to assume something close to this first definition here. What is duty? A moral or legal obligation, a responsibility. My presentation tonight will be totally based in this book, Changing Attitudes, written by Brazilian medium called by Francisco do Espírito Santo Neto, and the content of this book was dictated by the Spirit Hamed, which is a really good book, by the way. So, as I have seen the previous talks and many other presentations that I do, I like to say that the earth is not the unique place in the universe for the human beings. We are not privileged. So imagine the world out there, the infinite universe. Would be kind of selfishness if you just imagine or think that we would be just the unique in this entire universe, right? But let's keep that in mind for now. Spiritism, this spiritualist philosophy, says that we are individuals with the main objective of progressing spiritually towards perfection, and at the same time being co-creators. So let's explore a little bit this statement here. It says about individuality. So we are individuals. We was created at some point, and the Spiritism says that we was created simple and ignorant. That's the reason our main objective is to progress towards perfection. And how we do that? According to this philosophy, we accept that the concepts of reincarnation, because it says that it's through the existence in life here on earth or in this corporeal world, let's say, that will gain maturity and knowledge, and we'll be building up our background, let's say our knowledge and moral knowledge and intellectual knowledge. So we are a spirit created, which is not material thing, but it's an intelligent thing. This body is just a body, it's just matter, and we are the intelligence connected to this body that makes whatever it needs to be to do. So we as spirits do whatever we want with this body. It's like an instrument for us. It's like our house at the moment. But with the concept of reincarnation, this is just temporary. And when this life just ceases, like when this material, this body just ceases, because it's organic life, our spirit just release this body and go back to the spiritual world, which is what I said in the beginning, the infinite universe. It's everywhere. It's the entire universe. So we are individuals, spirits created, simple and ignorant, progressing, evolving towards perfection. It doesn't mean that we reach that perfection, but that's our direction. And at the same time being co-creators. How? Everything we do that is good or that is for the benefit of ourselves, our family, our friends, and anyone else, it's a good thing for everyone. It's a good thing for this entire life. So in that way, we start being co-creators as well. Okay. With this in mind, I said I read some concepts that Spiritism, the spiritualist philosophy, brings up, and one of the most important is reincarnation, that helps us to open our mind to see a big picture of everything. So it was created simple and ignorant, progressing, evolving towards perfection. How we do that? Through many experiences, which is this corporeal life, and many epochs, so through the history. And we are not here by the first time, but we have a background and spiritual background, and that's what makes us as we are now. And we are in our best version as our spirits. So with this, all this concept and this idea in mind, we can progress. So as I've said, we are unique in the whole universe. It's like an ID. We have our biometry here and many other things in our body that can make us different from anyone, right? So our biometry, our eyes in the eye, so that's unique. You can't match the same ID of any other person. So imagine that if you compare as a spirit in the whole universe, you are unique. There is no one just like you, no one. So that's a piece of truth shall not lose. Sorry, that's a piece of truth you shall not lose track of if you really want to meet your duty in life. You are unique and you have a purpose. As I've said before, we are individuals created to progress towards perfection through many reincarnations, right? What are you doing of your life? The journey of evolution is unique to each spirit and belongs to that spirit only. So you are the only prepared one for your own life. What we should be doing is make a commitment to ourselves. So you should do a commitment to yourself. About what? About how you'll be progressing, how you'll be evolving, how you'll be uh, getting more intellectual and moral knowledge for your own spirit. Yes, we cannot access our past lives or our history, but it's there. And why it's blanket when we just come back to this life? Because it's a new opportunity. It's a new way for us to do things and to learn with our own choices. At the end, when we come back, we can have a huge analysis of the entire life. But that's a huge process, a very complex process that you can learn more if you study this philosophy. But let's make a commitment to ourselves. Are you worrying about others' duties? If so, that's taking your attention to the wrong way. You are not working to accomplish your mission, as well as not helping others to accomplish their own. Help is always welcome when it's in a good faith. So we should contribute with everyone. If someone just asks you, oh, how can I handle? How should I handle? Or could you help me with this situation? You can give your experience in regards to that situation. What would you do in someone else's shoes? It's contributing, not taking ownership of that duty or what they need to do or what you think it's better for them to do. No, you can't do that. You cannot. What you can do is only about yourself, because that's your responsibility. So don't worry about others' duties. Just concern about your own. That's what I do. That's what everyone should be doing. That's a way of co-creating as well. When you know, when you try to compare, sorry, when you don't know yourself very well, what happened? You start making comparisons, right? You start comparing yourself with someone else. Oh, that person has a good job. That person has a good house, big house, good family, very happy family. But you start doing this comparison. But why? Why are you doing this comparison? It's a kind of natural, because you unknow yourself, all your potential. And when you do this comparison, it's like what you're seeing here in this screen. You can see an apple next to an orange. How you compare them? What you know is that they are fruits. But other than that, they are unique with unique properties. And how to compare? It's the same, just like spirits, because we are all unique. How can I compare myself or myself as a spirit to anyone else? I don't know what that person has passed through. I don't know the background. I don't know how they think. And that makes a huge difference, because how can I assume that they would take or they should do the same as I'm thinking now? Because something that is right for me could be wrong for them. And that's fine, because they have their own way of thinking. They have their own way of summing things and measuring things. So doing this comparison is something that we can think abroad and start to realize that it doesn't make sense and should not happen. Because if you really understand the reason of existence, of our existence, we are unique, going or progressing, evolving towards perfection, and everyone is doing the same. So everyone is at different stage, different level of evolution. Things that could be easy for me could be very hard for you, and vice versa. So things that for you handle that quite easy, for me it's very hard. And like that's normal with us at work, at the school or the uni, or at home. Even at home, our brothers, sisters, or parents, they have difficulty to go through situations that for you is just very simple, very easy. But remember, we are unique with different spiritual backgrounds, with different challenges that we are all going through with our own difficulties, problems, hardships in this life to go through. Because at the end, we'll all win. Because we'll be evolving with new experience, new results. So you must only care about your own way of being. Just know yourself. Your inner efforts must be turned to yourself only. Don't worry about what people think or say about yourself. That's their point of view and might be very different from the reality, right? So the truth is that only you can discover your real yourself, who you are, right? Only you can discover that, understand that, accept that, right? What your inner duty is exactly this: discover yourself, go inside, because when you do this work, you start discovering things that you need to do to get better at the end. For example, I'm really pride, or I'm really selfish, and you start understanding that, and you accept that situation because you see in yourself, you can observe that, and you accept, and naturally you start doing things to get it better, to work on this selfishness, on this pride, and this is good. But doesn't matter what people think or say about you, because you are already working. You already know by yourself who you are and what you need to work on, right? The path is unique. Everyone is going through the same path. Sorry, not the same path, but the same way, but singular paths for each spirit. So I recognize that it's a very hard work to go through this and go inside and discover ourselves. It's like an inner transformation, let's say, what we are trying to achieve here. But spiritism, at least for me, this philosophy helps me to open my mind for this inner travel. So we must live the present, day by day, without concerning about events that might happen in our lives, or even Don't occupy our mind with thoughts regarding things that happen, already passed, and you cannot change. Right? Why? Concerning about things that happened 10, 20 years ago. You can think of the future to make it better, to be better for yourself and for your closer ones. But for example, let's assume that you had a bad situation with your parents or with your brother or a very close friend. That was 10 years ago and you couldn't get back and start talking to that person again. What do? Don't think of the past. That has passed. Just think how to fix, how you can approach that person and get it solved. We are all going through problems. Your friend, your parents, or your brother, sister, whatever, they are going through the same situation. They have problems as well, right? And everyone is going through this life to evolve. We are learning new things, developing other things, right? Fixing others. And let's fix this issue now. Don't waste your time. You have this opportunity to evolve. As I said in the beginning, we need to come to this, according to this philosophy, we need to come to this corporeal life, this existence, to experience situations and make our decisions on that and learn with everything. And with that, we are feeding our moral knowledge, our intellectual knowledge of our spirit, because we are a spark of light. We are conscious. So when you go back, we remember about all this. So don't occupy your mind as well with things that have never happened and might not happen. Sometimes we had a situation and we are trying to resolve the situation and we start creating a lot of things in our mind. Oh, if that person says this and that, I will reply like this. You are creating a situation that might never happen. You're just wasting your time creating things, because we understand that everything starts in the thought. When you think, even if you don't take an action, but you already have done because you thought that's an action. That's your feeling. That's what you want. So when we say, as I said in the opening, elevate your thoughts, it's exactly to don't do this fantasy in your mind. It's just elevate your thoughts. Keep thinking good that make you productive for your life. Makes you happy. If you're in a situation, your job or in any place, and you got stressed, just go out, elevate your thoughts, think of things that make you happy. That will alleviate that situation. That will brings you up. So don't occupy your mind with things that has passed, and even with things that haven't happened or might not happen yet in the future. So just live the present, day by day. Discover yourself and don't hide your feelings from yourself or from anyone else. Feel free and comfortable in your personal relationships in order to decide and follow the directions you have chosen. So, free will. only you have the accountability of that. All your choices is your own, and all the consequence of those choices is yours as well. So, are you today what your parents or the society have imposed or defined as better for you? Are you a doctor because or a lawyer because your parents are doctor or lawyers and they wanted you to be like them? Or you did what your heart was saying you what to do? Feel free and comfortable in your personal relationships to make your own decisions. When we set our wish lists, projects, and plans, it's because that's important for us and only for us. The same applies to others. Everyone have their own desire, their own will, their own plans, projects. So we need to listen to ourselves and search for our inner road in order to make our dreams reality in a slow and constant progress. We define things for us. We have dreams. You need to work on those dreams to make it reality. How you do that if you all the time listen to others, what they think about you, and believing on that? That's not good for you. That's what I do. I even from my parents that give me a lot of advice. I I always took those that I thought that would be good for me. Otherwise, I would just replicating and doing what they want, and that's not what I want. By the way, for example, I'm from Brazil. I'm living in Australia now. My parents was thinking that I would be back after a few years. Sorry, that's my own life. That's what I want for me. That's what I'm doing. That's what I want. That's my decision. So that's my purpose. That's what I set for myself. That's how we should be doing, thinking, and work for. Of course, we should not forget that the destiny is the same for everyone, but the path is individual. How to help others then? Kindness, understanding, empathy, consideration, caring, all the good things. Being supportive with others. That's how we be helping everyone to evolve along us. Because we are evolving, isn't it? That's our path. That's our objective. At the end, let's do a balancing. What we have done of our life, what I've done of my life, what I'm doing now, and how can I do better to achieve that goal, to live this life, this passage, and go back to the real life in the spirituality as a consciousness, better or evolved. I got this statement from the book, and it's pretty awesome. Sorry, but I will read this. When we discover our real duty, a sensation of self-achievement takes over our spiritual helm, and we come to enjoy the true and elementary values of life, which give us an inexplicable and immense pleasure. It's very deep. We don't have time to go through every line here and start to explore that, but let's feel this. let's have this sensation of self-achievement when we discover what we need to be doing, what we want to do with ourselves, where we are, what we still need to do. Spiritism, this philosophy proposes a change of perspective. That's for us to use other lens to analyze the situation, to improve ourselves for something bigger. We understand that there is something beyond this life. And of course, there is an infinite out there. We are too small yet, but we are evolving. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending this meeting, for watching. Thank you.